going to be eating straight up chili oil for you all today. Hi everyone, it's Tasha and welcome to another recipe video, and today we are going to be making Sichuan Chinese chili oil. Timestamps are down below in the description and in the video itself, so feel free to skip straight ahead to the actual making of the chili oil, but I do like to talk about things first and you might find my preamble useful. Might save you some questions when you're looking at the recipe later on in this video too. This is a staple in many Asian kitchens, not just Chinese, and the type I'm going to make today is Sichuan province style with a caveat. Every single household / person that makes chili oil and enjoys making chili oil has their own way of doing it. It's going to vary from region to region and from family to family, even from person to person. Now, I said that I'm going to be eating straight up chili oil for this recipe video. That's not usually what it's used for. Obviously, I like to taste on camera what I make for you. First, I thought I'm going to make some dumplings so I can mix the chili oil with some vinegar and soy sauce and a bit of sugar so I can have it like a dip to show you. But then I decided I want to be 100% authentic and just eat the chili oil. Not all of it, just a small spoonful. My personal favourite way of making chili oil is to use plenty of garlic. Some don't use garlic at all, some use onions instead, some use onions and garlic, some people add dried shrimp, some people don't, some people add peanuts or sesame or both or none. When it comes to peanuts and sesames, I myself sometimes add them and sometimes I don't. The chili oil recipe I'm going to share with you today though is the one that I most often make. Chinese chili oil is most often used within recipes, and while yes you can actually have it with a little bit of rice because it's a bit salty, it's more often used as an addition to something. For example, I've made my beef noodle soup recipe before. Right at the end, when the broth is done, when the noodles are done, I add some chili oil directly to the bowl and then pour over the noodles and the soup, just to give it a bit of extra oomph. And I use it in a lot of Chinese / Southeast Asian recipes too. Lots of recipes call for chili oil. Now, it's not just the oil we are making, although obviously the oil itself is very valuable towards our recipes. The sediment that we're going to make with it is equally as important and is packed full of flavour. So the resulting chili oil is going to have bits in, which then sink to the bottom of your container, whichever container you put it in. Then remember to give it a good mix before you use it, because everything has lots of flavour. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. First things first, we've got to start by preparing our chili bowl, and this is a bowl of 50 grams of dried chili flakes. Now, here's the most important part, and it's as important as actually having the chili. Use a good, solid, heat-proof bowl. I have seen so many people, particularly on TikTok, try to pour hot oil straight into a glass jar or into like a dainty little bowl. Just check that it's nice and thick and actually says that it is heat proof, otherwise it's going to shatter, you're going to have a mess, and it's a little bit dangerous as well, so make sure you've got the right equipment. And we're also going to add to it some finely chopped garlic. Here I have, well, technically it's 6 cloves, but I'd say 5 big cloves. Since these are small, I'm going to count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's chop these up. Put these over here. And you may already know this, but a good fast way to get rid of all the garlic skins is to give them a little bit of a tap, a bash, and they should pop right off. There we go, nice and clean. Ah, this is a big juicy one, let's see. Good bash. And nice and easy. Now we're going to finely chop these up. And that's about done, don't have to be too precise about it. Let's add it to our chili. Add this in, remember to watch your fingers. And that is half a teaspoon of salt. This is pink Himalayan salt. You can use any salt you like, sea salt and pink Himalayan salt, in my opinion, are the best, but you know, table salt will do in a pinch. Right, let's get to our oil. Now in our wok, or you can also use a saucepan, we are going to add 220 millilitres of vegetable oil. This can be any flavourless oil you like. And now we're going to add a bunch of spices and stuff. Here I have 2 pieces of cassia bark. This is a little bit like cinnamon, but a bit less potent. 2 thick slices of ginger, this is fresh ginger. This one is black cardamom, we're going to add in 1 black cardamom. 1 star anise. And 2 tablespoonfuls of Sichuan peppercorns. Now I'm going to turn the heat on to a medium heat. And now we're going to wait until these sizzle and then sizzle them for about 10 minutes. But we need to make sure that they're not like boiling. We don't want the oil too hot, so just let it gently simmer for 10 minutes. Let's wait until the ginger and the peppercorn start sizzling, and we'll start the time from there because we want the oil nice and fragrant. There we go, it's nice and sizzly. Let's start the timer for 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, but I have one final step before I pour this hot oil into the chili, and that is my chopstick test. And this is going to test if the oil is hot enough or not too hot. So what I'm going to do is going to dip it in, and if it fizzes like it is now, it is ready, and it should do it just in a couple of seconds and not straight away and really violently. Let me give you a closer look. So we've got a little chopstick here, we're going to dip it in. There we go. It is ready. Now, this is why the oil temperature matters. If it's too cold, you're not going to infuse enough of the chili and the garlic, and if it's too hot, you're going to straight up burn it. So if you stick the chopstick in and it's taking a while for it to fizz up the heat just a little bit for a few seconds. Keep testing until it hits that sweet spot of maybe fizzing after half a second or so, and fizzing gently. And the other way around, if you stick your chopstick in and it fizzes violently immediately, it's too hot, turn the heat down and then wait half a minute or two, and then take the chopstick again and test it until it fizzes the way you want it to. Now obviously we don't want lots of spice bits in our bowl, so we're going to pour the oil through a sieve. Let's do that now. Pour the oil straight in. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Lovely. And we're going to give this a little stir. Oh, that smells amazing already. And we're going to let it cool down. Oh, just listen to that. Perfect. Now I know it smells really good and garlicky and savoury at the moment, but this is hot oil we're working with. Don't taste it right now. It is super hot. Let it cool down to room temperature, and then we can pop it in a jar and enjoy it. Check that out, what a beauty. And if you hear faint sizzling sounds in the background, it's because I'm making some dumplings, so I can actually eat this with some dumplings later. But first, let's do some slow-mos. Chose an already used recycled jar to put my chili oil in, and I've got all of the leftovers in here. Gosh, it's a dark day. I should have used my my photography light. Neat. Usually I use a bigger jar for this, but I did want to show you how it looks like spooning, and that's why I put some in a bowl. That bowl is going to go very fast in my household. I'm going to put this down now and pick something else up because I assume you're all here to watch me eat chili oil. So I wouldn't normally do this because, like I said, you're not supposed to just eat chili oil straight off the spoon like you would Nutella. But I'm going to for you today. Luckily I do have quite a high spice tolerance, but you know, I haven't really eaten chili oil on a spoon before. So here you go, just so you can see I'm not messing around. Cheers. Yes, it's spicy. I can feel it particularly as I breathe out when I talk. But for me this is more mild, medium spicy. It will depend on the chili flakes you use. I use ones from Sichuan, so they do pack a reasonable punch. And it also depends on the batch too, because I've bought the same chili flakes before and they really packed a punch one time. But for me this is the perfect heat for a chili oil like this, especially for one to use in other recipes. It's really deliciously, intensely savoury and umami. That's thanks to the garlic and the salt we have in there. And it has a wonderful toasted scent as well, because obviously we've toasted those chili flakes and the garlic when we put the hot oil in. That's wonderful. So there you go, Chinese Sichuan chili oil. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video, and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram on tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too. I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Chili oil.